Hello, welcome to Papa Nick's Music. I am, as always, your host, Papa Nick Lewis, and I have a bit of a confession to make. Um, I love the Beatles, okay? They are foundational to my sense of what good music is. I have listened to this music all of my life. I deeply, deeply, deeply love the Beatles catalog. But the solo work of the individual Beatles, I've always been kind of iffy on. And so I am not as well acquainted with the solo output of John, Paul, George, and Ringo as I am the group work that they've done. And I've decided it's time to fix that. So over the next few months, and this is going to take a while, over the next few months, I'm going to be exploring the solo catalogs of our four Beatles. I'm starting with Paul McCartney, and every time I do this, every time I pick an artist that I want to do a deep dive on, I always try to start with, what the current state of the union is as far as my knowledge of / affection for the artist. And of the four, when it comes to their solo output, I'm the most familiar with Paul's. I've got probably, 10 of his albums, something like that. Way more than than the other three even combined. I've got a lot, got a lot of Paul stuff. But even then, it's less than half of what he's released. So we're going to start with Paul. Today, I'm going to give you my top 10 Paul McCartney singles. Some of these are Wings singles. Some of them are just Paul McCartney singles, and I'm not differentiating between the two. Wings and Paul McCartney are essentially the same thing to me, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to give you my top 10 Paul McCartney singles. Cool? Cool. This is where we start our long, long overdue exploration of the Beatles' solo catalogs. Now, before I get into this, this is a top 10, and Papa Nick's Music Top 10 series is unofficially sponsored by Schofferhofer Beer. If you like Hefeweizen beer mixed with grapefruit soda, ooh, you're going to love Schofferhofer. That's good beer. And I just hope that, tariffs don't make this so horribly expensive that I can't afford it anymore. That would significantly negatively impact my life. Also, because we're talking relative quality, I have to talk about the subjectivity notice. We firmly believe here at Papa Nick's Music that there's no such thing as objectively good or objectively bad art. There's only art that we like and art that we do not. And as long as we keep that in mind, this is a wonderful conversation. It's everything that's happiness and sunshine and unicorns and roses. It's an opportunity to see the world from somebody else's perspective, which I would argue is always a good thing. The conversation, though, goes off the rails real quickly when somebody in the said conversation insists on being seen as objectively right. So I am not making an objective claim here. I'm not saying that these are the 10 plus 2 objectively best Paul McCartney singles. These are just the ones I like the most, okay? Just to give you a sense of where we're starting. Now, let's get into the top 10, shall we? Let's take one more fortifying sip. That's good beer. Okay, before we get into the top 10, I do have a couple of honorable mentions. There are songs that I was trying, I was trying to get these into the top 10 and I just couldn't do it. One for a good logistical reason, and one I couldn't figure out a way to get it in. The one that I had a good logistical reason for is Venus and Mars / Rock Show from the Venus and Mars album. If we were talking about the album tracks, then Venus and Mars / Rock Show would be on my top 10 because I deeply, deeply, deeply love that song. I really like Venus and Mars as a whole. It's a very good album. But the radio edit, the single edit of that particular song is not to my fancy. So it's not going to make the top 10, but it does deserve some mention. The other song that I really wanted to put in here, because I really like it, is Coming Up from McCartney 2. I really like that song. And I like the original McCartney 2 version as opposed to the live version that was released. That's one of the reasons why, are we talking about the live version? Or are we talking about the... So, okay, it didn't crack the top 10. But I really wanted it to crack the top 10. But this is what I came up with for my top 10. Coming in at number 10. And I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because I'm assuming you know all of these songs. Because it's Paul McCartney, for Christ's sakes. We all know this stuff. Coming in at number 10, from Venus and Mars in 1975, we have Listen to What the Man Said. I really like that song. I've always liked Listen to What the Man Said. Coming in at number 9, I told you, this is going to go quick. Coming in at number 9, from Band on the Run, we have Jet. Oh, I really like Jet. Jet is a fun song to play as well. I enjoy when I'm with a group of friends and we can work that into the set list. Coming in at number 8, a non-album single, one of 2 non-album singles we have in our top 10 list today. From 1971, Another Day. Part of my affection for this song goes back to being a kid listening to it. It's just, it was always a magical event when this song would be on the radio because I really liked the song, and the only way I could hear it was if it played on the radio. And so that created a sense of anticipation and magic that I have very strongly associated with the song. So, highly subjective reason, Another Day is coming in at number 8. At number 7, man, I'm getting through this even quicker than I thought. At number 7, we've got the title track from 1973's Band on the Run, Band on the Run. I don't think you can have a top 10 of Paul McCartney singles that doesn't include Band on the Run. I think that's a contractual obligation. Everybody's got to have it in there somewhere. So I've put it in at number 7. Almost gave the wrong number there. It's a great song. I love listening to it. I love the fact that the single version, if it has been edited, I can't tell. So I like that. Coming in at number 6. Okay, my first dark horse. I'm willing to bet that most people, if they're generating their list of their 10 favorite McCartney singles, I think the ones I've listed so far are going to be contenders for most people's list. I don't think there's anything surprising about that. But I have at number 6, from London Town in 1978, With a Little Luck. I have always loved this song. I can listen to it now. I had a video several months ago where I talked about certain albums, certain songs that are time capsules. They immediately take me back in time. With a Little Luck does that. It takes me back to 1978 and what it felt like being that age, listening to the radio. Oh, I love With a Little Luck. It's got a very special place in my heart. Coming in at number 5. Okay, this one, I'm sneaking into my list. It was released as a single, but it was released as a single in the UK. It wasn't released as a single here in the States. But hey, it was released as a single, and it's one of my favorite Paul McCartney songs. So yes, I've got at number 5 from 1971's Ram, The Backseat of My Car. Oh my God, do I love this song. I have talked in videos in the past. I've talked about songs that I have a strong attachment to because they are such strong memory triggers. Not necessarily time capsules, although this one comes close. But it's just, it takes me back to, or it reminds me of, I should say, a time in my life. And the backseat of my car does that. I can vividly recall what it was like being a kid listening to, I had a cassette that had, I've told this story before in another video, but I can't remember what the context was. But I had a cassette that my older brother had made. He had recorded some episodes of a Beatles documentary that was being aired on, I think it was WLS, maybe? Not sure what station it was. Anyway, it was one of those stations that we only got when the weather conditions were right. And they were playing a Beatles documentary. And as soon as my brother realized it was a Beatles documentary, he got a blank tape and he popped it in the stereo and he started recording it. and the tape that I had, that I inherited, had the backseat of my car. And this was well before I ever even saw a copy of Ram. But I had that song and I loved it. So, number 5, the backseat of my car. Okay, coming in at number 4. I think at number 6, with a little luck, that was a dark horse. I think this next one is going to be a dark horse too. I think this next one is going to be one that is going to encourage people to leave flaming bags of dog poop on my porch, because I don't think it was well received at the time. Although it charted very well. It was topped. I think it hit number 5. I didn't research that because, frankly, I don't care. But I know it was a top 10 single, so it did well when it was released. But I don't think it is a song that most McCartney fans are going to look at with any affection or reverence or anything like that. But I think it is a wonderful song. It's the other non-album single on my list from 1979. We have Good Night Tonight. Oh my God, do I love this song. It's simple, but it is catchy, and it makes me happy. It's a good toe-tappy, snappy song, and I love a good toe-tappy, snappy song. So, number 4, Good Night Tonight. Number 3. Now, this is going to be another one of those that it's contractual obligation. It's got to be on your top 10 somewhere. And I think that a lot of people sneer at this song. I actually think it is a masterwork. I think it's very well written. I love the music of it. The lyrics are light. There's not much substance to them. But I love the music of this thing. I love the arrangement of it. It always makes me smile. It always makes me happy. And it has since the first time I heard it when it was released in 1976. Yes, from the album Wings at the Speed of Sound, we have Silly Love Songs. Oh man, do I love this song. I just got goosebumps thinking about it. Oh, I like Silly Love Songs. Number 2. This is another one of those time capsule songs. This is another one of those that takes me back to my childhood, sitting in my bedroom listening to that cassette I was mentioning earlier. This is more of a time capsule, though, than Backseat of My Car is. Backseat of My Car is a slice of life kind of a thing. It reminds me of that time, but it doesn't just transport me back like I've got whiplash from it, right? This one does. Also from Ram, my number 2 song is Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. When I was a kid, I loved this song. To this day, I love this song. It's always exciting when I hear it playing somewhere. I love Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. But my number 1 song, probably the darkest horse out of all of these. I don't think if we do a straw poll of Paul McCartney fans, okay, give me your top 10 favorite Paul McCartney songs. I don't think anybody else out there in the world is going to pick this as their number 1, and it is my, by God, number 1. It is my number 1 over other songs I've got on my list: Band on the Run, Silly Love Songs, Listen to What the Man Said, Jet. I mean, classics. It's over Live and Let Die and Maybe I'm Amazed and My Love. Over all of those songs. Those didn't even make my top 10. Over all of these songs, we have, from 1979's Back to the Egg, Arrow Through Me. Oh my God, do I love this song. And the fact that it is often neglected, it infuriates me that when McCartney released his Wingspan collection of the anthology of the Wings years, he didn't include Arrow Through Me. The only song that he included off of Back to the Egg, I want to say, was the Rockestra theme, and it's like, seriously, that's what you're going to include? You could have included Getting Closer. You could have included Arrow Through Me. They're both 20 times better than Rockestra theme, for Christ. But I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. I love Arrow Through Me. I've always loved it. I love the instrumentation. I love the sound of it. I love the arrangement. I like the way it plays with time in the bridge, which usually drives me crazy. I hate it when musicians, jack around with their time signatures, but I love it when Paul McCartney does it. So, my number one Paul McCartney song, Arrow Through Me. Now, that's my current state of Paul McCartney fandom. These are the songs that I really like. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be immersing myself in McCartney's catalog. Like I said, there's probably already 9 or 10 of these albums that I have, but I'm going to be listening to the whole thing. I'm not going to go too far into the weeds of things like the Fireman albums and stuff like that. I'm just going to stick to actual studio releases. And at some point in the not too distant future, I'm going to have an album ranking and songs that I wasn't aware of that I now love because I know they're going to be there, because that's why I'm starting with Paul. Paul to me, he's my favorite Beatle. He's the one whose melodic sensibility most closely matches my own. So I'm looking forward to this. Other guys, I'm a little trepidatious about, but I'm looking forward to working through Paulie's stuff. But that's what I'm thinking about this week. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to leave a flaming bag of dog poop on my porch for putting Arrow Through Me above all these other songs? Drop that note down below. I always love hearing from you. If you enjoyed today's video, thanks for that. I'd appreciate it if you'd click the like button. While you're down there clicking, go ahead and click the subscribe button if you've not already done so. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to me, so I very much appreciate it. If you do subscribe, go ahead and click the bell for notifications. The YouTube folks appreciate that, so on their behalf, I thank you. In the meantime, thanks again for hanging out with me today, and I hope that the rest of your day is uneventful. See you soon.